Welcome to the Introduction to Sustainable Fundraising, How to Find New Income Streams. Many voluntary and community organisations are facing challenging times as political and economic landscapes are changing dramatically. This has brought greater challenges to fundraising. Cuts in public spending and economic downturn has meant that the funding streams that many VCOs rely on, such as grants from statutory and public bodies, are fewer, and thus there is greater competition for limited grants that are available. Many VCOs are considering other options for fundraising, such as applying for local authority tenders, and could be competing with private sector businesses for funds. Many find that they are too small to access such funds and have to work in partnership. Currently, there is a lot of talk in the sector about how VCOs need to diversify their funding streams, engage in trading, and market themselves more effectively. There is great emphasis on becoming more businesslike, more professional, and more efficient. All these terms can be daunting, and some may think that businesslike practices and attitudes are not suitable for the organization. This can be considered to be a myth. The fact is, there are many similarities between how businesses and VCOs operate and deliver services. For example, they require similar knowledge and skill sets. There are also similar management structures, systems, and policies. There are a few differences. One of the major differences is that businesses are profit-driven and VCOs are driven primarily by social and environmental needs, and all profits are returned to the organization. Not everything from the private sector is appropriate for VCOs. But there are some practices and ways of working that VCOs can learn from, which can help develop stronger organizations that can survive in the current economic climate. VCOs can learn about, for example, practices that sharpen their fundraising skills, improve their funding streams, and promote themselves more effectively to potential funders and partners. Many VCOs need to change their mindsets from finding money to making money. The purpose of this presentation is to demystify business terms and concepts such as trading, products, markets, and customers, and show you how relevant they are for your work and your sustainability. This presentation is an introduction to sustainable fundraising that will encourage VCOs to plan and discuss how to improve their funding strategy. It will demonstrate that VCOs are already doing or have some knowledge of practices that are often associated with businesses. This includes developing, selling, and marketing products to customers. An idea is a concept. You need to turn an idea into something tangible, a product which can be sold to customers. The reality is that you're already doing this. For example, an idea is empowering people with disabilities to access learning and employment opportunities. And products can include services such as information, advice, and guidance sessions, or delivery of family learning activities. Your goods can be booklets with training information, and your customers can be trusts and foundations in the third sector. As you can see, making an idea profitable is something that you have been already doing under the current grant scheme. You simultaneously created products and identified potential customers, for example by looking at the grants criteria of many trusts and foundations. You then marketed your idea by completing an application form. Once the foundation or trust accepted your application, your product was sold. So what has changed? Organizations and bodies that you relied on for funding have changed or are changing. These organizations and bodies can be considered to be your customers, as these bodies have paid you to deliver a particular service or activity. Your local authority that has provided you with regular funds may have stopped their funding. Foundations and trusts that you applied to could have reduced their funds. And there's greater competition for funds that you usually apply for. Therefore, you need to find new and more customers in existing and new markets to sell your ideas and products. This is what will help to develop a more sustainable organization. So what now? Well, you need to revisit your mission statement, review existing income streams, products and markets, then see how these can be improved. This is an area where you have expertise and confidence in, so it is the least risky. Identify new products that you can develop and existing and new markets you want to target. The Ansoff matrix model can be used to increase organizations' growth and income. It shows organizations what options they have to achieve growth and the risks attached to them. The model shows that the least risky option is for organizations to increase productivity in their current market. This involves reviewing and improving current products you sell and how you sell them to your existing market. It can involve segmenting your current market, in other words, identifying the different needs and characteristics of the market and see how you can meet their diverse needs and interests more effectively. The next option is to develop new products for existing markets. When these options are exhausted, you can consider a more risky option, which is to enter new markets. According to the Ansoff matrix, the most risky option is to develop new products for new markets. In other words, diversification. For further information about the matrix, see the YouTube video. Other tips include when researching your potential markets and customers, think about their different needs and characteristics. For example, if you're targeting primary schools, you need to consider issues such as where they're based and what groups they work with, as their needs and interests differ greatly. Undertake SWOT analysis and see which approaches are appropriate. There are risks attached to entering new markets and/or developing new products, but with careful planning it can be a success. Research your competitors. See what they do, how much they charge for products that you want to sell, and where they sell them. Identify your unique selling point so that you can compete with other providers. For example, your specialized expertise and knowledge of your user group and region can be an asset. Identify channels to market your products. Research what legal structures you require to sell your products. Research in detail different forms of funding streams and use the helpful documents page on the National Family Learning Network website for further information. It is very important to undertake background research as it will help you make more informed decisions. Discuss and plan with others in your organization. You require ideas, feedback and support from others in the organization, so make sure you involve others in the planning activities. Use the worksheet that accompanies this presentation for some suggestions. And finally, see the National Family Learning Network website for further information at www.familylearningnetwork.com/funding/helpful-documents.